Welcome back to Police and Poetry. This is no other than ex-Detective Corporal EVON Blake. Today is November 17, and like as usual, I have a few words that I want to say about my beautiful country, Jamaica, and my beautiful ex-job, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, which is a stalwart for an organization, even though it is now led by fools. Yeah, the Bible says it's sin to call a man a fool, but the Jamaica Constabulary Force is being led and operated by fools. The Jamaica Constabulary Force, as I see it today, is nothing but a fashion show. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, nothing but a fashion show. Everybody are double sixes and all of that. As a learned detective, one would gladly believe that a constable with a degree in business administration is vastly smarter than I am in the art of investigation. How many of us fall prey to the irony? Well, maybe all the leaders of the Jamaica Constabulary Force in this modern day does. Jamaica's crime machine has now reached unproportionate levels that one could fearfully say is beyond the police's control. The force is now overwhelmed, overloaded with officers with degrees known to the value of the betterment of the Jamaica Constabulary Force and the Jamaican people at large. When I look at the crime stats, it would transparently appear that we are overloaded with degrees in stupidity, since the crime rates seem to have skyrocketed beyond the control of the degree police. What we all fail to believe is that a degree does not make a smart police officer or a leader. Since there are no degrees in policing, one could conclude the only degree in another area of expertise would not suffice for the operation of or control of crime such as in a violent country as Jamaica. The Commissioner of Police is clearly out of his league, being ignorant to crime and police procedures in all regards. He is nothing but another failed experiment and a failure to the good members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. And law-abiding citizens in Jamaica, he has and continues to exhibit no knowledge of his profession, and has proven to be nothing but a poster boy for the no Sir Andrew Holness. We must remember that puppet is as stupid as the puppeteer. The question I continuously ask myself is why, among all the officers in the Jamaica Constabulary Force, our Prime Minister chooses to elect a military officer with no training or experience in the art of policing to lead the police. This, I say, is like giving a cat dogs to lead across a river. This repetition has failed on more than one attempt, leaving the force in reverse mode, devaluing the police and accelerating Jamaica's murder rate beyond tremendous control. An idiot could devise learning from others' mistakes could make a difference. I would say that. You know that Renita Adams once said that Jamaica would pay dearly. The question I ask myself is Renita Adams a prophet? Or is he just a knowledgeable police officer? The likes of policemen like Sir Adams will never be seen as a way for the Jamaica Constabulary Force or the Jamaican people. Frankly, he is not smart enough. He does not possess a degree in law as DCP Stewart. And the list goes on and on and on. Speaking of Stewart, yes. Speaking of DCP Stewart, let me say something about this man. What positivity or crime expertise has he brought to the force? His administrative methods, how many crimes have it solved? Is he the problem? Is he an asset? I would say no doubt he's not an asset to the Jamaica Constabulary Force or even the reduction of crime. I congratulate Mr. Stewart, for getting his law degree. But what has your great law degree done, sir? Frankly, you have done nothing for the Jamaica Constabulary Force, neither the police, neither the people of Jamaica. What you have done, sir, is impose policies on the good members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force that has forced them to resign in droves. You have made the promotion and exams stupidly impossible to pass by focusing your question farther from policing as far as you can. If I were you, I would get training from Detective Sergeant Wilkie or, some Detective Sergeant Mackenzie and some people from Huntsby that might help you figure out how to help Jamaica's crime problem, because that is the problem that Jamaica have, Mr. Stewart, DCP Stewart. Jamaica has a crime problem. And you are nowhere in that boat. Your administrative expertise is not doing anything for the Jamaica Constabulary Force. You are driving good members away. That is the only thing that you are doing. And as far as I am concerned, you are a politician, sir. I will not take back my talk. You are a politician. Yes, DCP Stewart, you are a politician. The Jamaica Constabulary Force, like I said before, is nothing but a fashion show. Our leaders is nothing but a farce. A political appointment that will never grow wrong. A failure that was intended. The Jamaican people are being sacrificed for the extension of security contracts and political gains, or people are handed over to criminals. That is how I see it. Jamaica is plagued by destructions of our women and children. The police department is circumcised in the fight against crime. The pandemic that is destroying Jamaica is not COVID-19, but rather corruption in the highest offices of Jamaica, a new police commissioner, and change in the structure of the Jamaica Constabulary at the officer's rank, and a new plan that is created to work is a vaccination that Jamaica needs. In recent days, various parts of the country were under state of emergency, and the Police Federation and our members were not informed. Why were we not informed is beyond my understanding. Whenever a state of emergency is affected, the police and the Federation must be informed in order that the relevant actions are taken with workable measures for the police role are implemented. And the disrespect for the good members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. From time to time, like deja vu, the police are left in the dark, and then chastised for being unprepared. Now, there is an interview that was done by the president of the Police Federation in relation to this. And I'm going to play this so you can all listen to this, because I believe everything that he said is true. So I will let you listen to this before I get back to you.
Let's welcome the Federation Chairman, Corporal Rowan James. Hi, Corporal James. How are you doing, sir?
Good morning to you, Conrad, and to my hard-working colleagues and your listeners.
Indeed, Corporal James, a very, very packed program we have here this morning, and we're giving you the first bite of the cherry. Now, we woke up yesterday to understand that the police officers were deployed all across, in various parishes across Jamaica, and indeed we heard from the Prime Minister and the Minister of National Security, the Army Chief, and also the Police Commissioner later in the day at about 10 o'clock or 10:30 or so. Of course, they were late in coming. They said it was 10 o'clock, but we had that meeting about 10:30, and we heard a lot of announcement. But let me ask you, Corporal James, off the get-go, once again we are seeing where your officers is basically thrown into the deep, so to speak, after complaining recently about resources, finances, etc., etc. And here we're seeing the state of emergency being deployed. Were you consulted?
We were never consulted on the matter.
Uh-huh.
We had no prior knowledge, Up to today's date, we are hoping that we will be brought up to speed as to what are the logistics that will impact the well-being and welfare of our membership.
Hold on, you're saying that as the body, that would head the union, so to speak, of the rank and file of the police officer that will be deal with their welfare and so on, and would need to have these logistics being ironed out. And so you're saying to me that their federation was never ever brought into the loop. Is this customary?
Up to this point in time, we have not been brought up to speed as to what are the logistics that have been put in place to ensure that the well-being of our membership are taken care of. And we are hoping that the High Command will so bring us up to speed as to what it is that is at play, knowing that we have a burnt-out workforce. The rank and file membership have been going at it for extended period, and even so that we are the truth be told, Conrad, is that our employer is treating us as if we are not partners to the issue of crime fighting.
So how would you have this thing being done and rolled out effectively if the men and women who is supposed to task to carrying out the duty is not treated as partner and brought into the loop? How will this happen?
The fact of the matter, Conrad, you would have heard me on every program since I've taken office as chairman, imploring our employer to treat the issue of national security similar to how they are treating the pandemic, and to make the resources available and to address the issue of remuneration and compensation for the rank and file cohort of the constabulary force and the District Constables Association. You would have heard me clearly.
Absolutely.
And those impediments are factors. You cannot have a demoralized workforce and expect to have the sort of result that you so desire. It is a demoralized workforce and expect to have the sort of result that you so desire. It is an affront to the people of Jamaica. You cannot be treating the constabulary force in the way you are treating it, and not even security guard companies are divided of resources as how the JCF is. But we just have to call a spade a spade.
But yesterday, the Prime Minister of Jamaica boasted about the resources that his administration provides to the police force, and said that he believed that the commissioner is doing a very, very good job, and the police for, getting the results. The people of Jamaica, and this is against the background, Corporal James, when we're seeing the murder numbers surpass last year figure already. So how does the Prime Minister out there giving, and maybe this is an unfair question to you, giving his commissioner of police, who is your ultimate boss, such high marks, while you, who are out there underground, complaining that, listen, you're void of the resources and you're not treated in a manner as if you're a partner in all of this?
Conrad, I will stay far from that delivery, but I will say this, that the rank and file continues to give service to this country, and we are appealing to the citizens of Jamaica to implore upon our employer, the government, to treat the constabulary force with the respect and provide the remuneration for the men and women for the sacrifices that they are making and giving to this country, and to also seek to provide the resources. The JDF is not the only security entity that the country relies on. The constabulary force has a greater remit than the Jamaica Defence Force, and every single aspect of resources is shifted to the JDF. It is clear, Conrad, and I say that without any fear of contradiction. We are operating below par with insufficient resources And so much so that we have a number of our inspectors who are operating in acting capacities that should be operating as officers. And those are clear vacancies. And today they cannot even be promoted. Every time you look at it, our police officers are void of even the basic commodities such as uniform and boots to be out there serving the public. They have to be purchased in same from their pockets.
So against that background, Corporal James,
we have a 40-hour work week matter that is before the court that our employer has not even dignified us up to today's date to ensure that they kept abreast with what is happening in the court and keep our attorney informed as to what the likely outcome will be. We have a salary negotiation that our employer doesn't seem to take seriously. But we are saying we cannot continue to be giving of our time to this country.
And there you have it. I hope you guys listened carefully to what was said, to what the chairman of the Police Federation was saying. To tell you the truth, I am very proud of him until he is promoted and transferred from the Federation for being too eloquent as usual. But I think he has said enough. And for the first time in my entire career as a policeman and now an ex-policeman, I have never heard a federation president lay it out like that. Everything was on the table. Everything was on the table as it affects the Jamaican people and as it affects the Jamaica Constabulary Force. The police is not treated as if we are partners in the crime fighting effort of Jamaica. You listen? The police is not treated as if we are partners in the crime fighting effort in Jamaica. Do you believe that? And yet, we are the ones on the front line. We are the ones risking our lives, risking our families be repaired. As I'm speaking to you right now. How can we add back morale, a positive morale to the members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force? What can we do? We do not have a commissioner of police. The Prime Minister doesn't see us as the number one priority when it comes to crime and violence in Jamaica. To me, he has chosen the army. The ones who were not trained in the fighting of crime. You know what? I'm laughing now. I'm just laughing right. I'm cracking up right now. The PM, you hear what he said? The PM says the Commissioner of Police is doing an excellent job. The Commissioner of Police is doing an excellent job. What is that? I guess he's being commended for the multiplication of numerous murders across the country. I would suspect that is the case. Because as it relates to Jamaica and policing right now, this Commissioner of Police has failed miserably. He has failed the worst since the commencement of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. As a matter of fact, I did not expect anything better because he's not a police. The police do not even have resources to do our jobs. It would appear the JDF will soon be the new police department. Like the Federation leader said, our resources are being transferred to the JDF. And you better believe that. Police officers do not have uniforms. Police officers does not have equipments to work. And we work in deplorable conditions. Deplorable conditions. Enough is not being spent on the Ministry of National Security as it relates to police and crime measures. No promotion in the Jamaica Constabulary Force. You know why? Because every time a member of the Jamaica Constabulary Force is promoted, that means the government will have to budget more money to pay everybody that has been promoted. So they do not want to promote anybody because they do not want to spend any more money on national security. I will not talk about the 40-hour week because that battle still goes on in court. Police are still not being paid. So, what else can I say? The people of Jamaica, fellow police officers, and civilians, citizens of Jamaica, who have subscribed to my channel and who are listening to this recording right now, it is time for you to put your civic duties on play. And when I say put your civic duties on play, it is time for you to demonstrate for the police. It is time for you to start looking out for the police. It is time you start putting the government of Jamaica under pressure as it relates to the police and the prevention of crime and violence in Jamaica. Because the Prime Minister does not care about the escalation of crime in Jamaica. Who does crime affect in Jamaica? It does not affect the rich uptown. It affects you, the people in Kingston, 11, 13, Augustown, Jonestown, those places, etc. Kingston 11. You are the people that are affected by crime and violence, but yet you are always on the street demonstrating against the police when you need the police more than anybody else. Without the police, most of you people in those garrison committees would have been dead and gone already. You need the police. You need to start standing up for your police. Families of police officers, you need to start forming unions. You need to start forming support groups. Wives of police officers, you need to start getting together. You need to start marching for your men. March for your boyfriends who are police officers. Cause the government of Jamaica to select leaders of the Jamaica Constabulary Force who are qualified enough to put a proper crime plan in place. Because without a proper commissioner of police, there will never be a good crime plan. And without a good crime plan, Jamaica will drown in the quicksand sands of crime and violence sooner than we think. I hope you're listening to me, and I hope you take action. So until next time, it's goodbye from Poetry and Police. Yours truly, ex-Detective Corporal of Police, EVON Blake.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?